Hey, welcome back to the repair shop. BIBSTE'S repair shop, in case you didn't know. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is right backwards because I'm on the wrong screen. Anyway, so it's been a while since I did a video, like over a week. As you can see, there's still stuff in all the cylinders because it's still hasn't fired up yet, or still fired up. Oh, we're a ways away from that, but still hasn't unstuck itself. So here's what we've gotten so far. The other night I was actually out here working and it was like past midnight and I was gonna start filming a video. That was a terrible idea. And so what I've done so far is I suctioned out all the stuff that was in the pistons, sit on top of them. I had that CLR mixture and it actually did clean up really, really well. But there's still, it's dead stuck. So at this point, what I'm gonna do tonight is we're gonna go ahead and bite the big one, pull the oil pan down and get ready, see what that looks like, see what those main bearings look like, or what the rod bearings look like, and start thinking about the pretty much, if those all look okay, then I'm just gonna go ahead and we'll try and pop the pistons out. I'm not sure if I'll get that far tonight because I do have to do some cleaning up in here to make it so I have a spot. I got a table I'm gonna set up so I can put everything nice and all lined up so everything kind of stays organized. Because when you get to this step, I mean, I'm already at that off camera with stuff, organized, but you want to make sure everything is pretty, you know where everything's at. But we've had kind of another fun little fix. A couple things. I'm working on a viewer questions. I've had a couple questions on some wiring stuff from a couple viewers. One's on a 4-8N, and then one's on a switch that I'm working on. So if you guys are down the description, I am working on that. It's hard enough to get out here and do this work, and then to try and I just got to hopefully the next week or so I should be able to get all that stuff. I got to kind of figure out drawing. Also, we did get another project, and it's not in the shop. It's an outside project. It's a little 4-8N that I am working on. I might work on it tomorrow night for a little bit, but hopefully this weekend I get out there. I think it just needs points. It won't start now. Guy got a really good deal on it. But we're going to be bringing you that on the channel too. I went out a couple weeks ago or last week and just tried it out to see if it was working. But the other reason why I haven't done much work on the car, work on, there we go, fixed. On the tractors, I've had problems with the car. You guys remember I got that Honda, that little Accord is a video. I won't put a link in the description because it's a Honda Accord. It's not that it's super special. There is a funny story with it, but it's like 2 videos ago. You should be able to find it. Oh, what the heck, link in the description. But it's given me a couple issues lately. And a couple weeks ago, we were at my wife's parents at the BIBSTER-in-laws, I guess it would say it that way. Anyway, and driving home, and luckily we'd gone separately. It was actually the day I started working on this project. And so because I was working on this, she went out earlier with the little baby BIBSTER, sick at grandparent time, and then I came later. On the way home, we were driving along and tooling along in my Chevrolet. No, that's a different song. But we're tooling along, and the Honda just shut off. Just boom, cruising down the road, whoop, nothing. Shut off, and it was one of those, like, that thing's so quiet. Shut off, what's that? So first I was like, oh crap, I snapped the timing belt, like, because I know I need to do the timing belt on it, but I'm hopefully limping through a little bit longer. Even though it's an interference motor, so it's real smart of me not to be fixing it right now. But, and I would turn it over. It still sounds like it has compression, because if you guys know or don't know, if you snap a timing belt, if you turn it over, it's gonna sound. It's probably not gonna build compression because there's probably a valve might be open somewhere, so it'll just go. It'll sound really. So it'll turn over really fast because there's not any compression, or go. It'll be hitting bad times. If it sounds normal, so I was like, I bet it's a fuel pump. And so I pulled over on the side of the road. It's like 10 o'clock at night, and luckily Emily and the baby were in front of me, so I called them and said, hey, come back. Honda's giving me fits, and I thought it was fuel pump. When the car shuts off, you think it's fuel pump. So I thought that was underneath the back seat. So I tried to rip the back seat out. Couldn't get the back seat out right then. It's in the trunk. Pulled the trunk out. Got to that. Started looking at the wiring. And I'm fiddle farting with all sorts of stuff in the car, thinking I'm just gonna have to leave this since it's Saturday night, and I got church in the morning. It's gonna be a whole fiasco. Stupid car. And after I remember trying to start nothing, and I didn't think I was hearing the fuel pump. But then I scrubbed with a couple things, and I heard the fuel pump. I was like, oh, fuel pump starter. Let's see if it is. Boom, starts up. I'm like, maybe the fuel pump's going out on it. So I go get a fuel pump. Don't install it yet. Because again, it's when you have trunk access, you're like, I'll take a Phillips screwdriver and I'll repair this on the side of the road. It's no big deal. Drive it for a week and a half, and it dies again. It died on the way home, actually going to look at, the next 7 days I was going to look at that tractor last week. And I was like, this is weird. Both days were colder days that it did it. So I had the heat blasting, but I was like, that's weird. I had done, I done the old Googling, and there was a bunch of stuff on the ignition switch could go bad. And it was the wiring harness, and it was a Honda had a recall on it. So I thought, well, maybe that could be the problem. That's a possibility. So I checked out O'Reilly's, and they had one, and queued it this week, and it died on me, I think, going to work on Monday. Yeah, going to work on Monday, coming home. Yeah, I think it did die on the way home. Coming home. So maybe it was only one way. And so I was like, well, it's probably an inside ignition switch. I ordered it. They didn't have it in stock because, they don't keep parts for 98 Honda Accords anymore. Who would have thunk? But, so, get that, the ignition switch. And then I'm also, the next day I'm driving, after I already have the ignition switch ordered, so I don't have it yet, but again, you got to drive the car. And as the car's died, and I'm sitting there next to the side of the road, again, it's a 2-lane road, barely to shoulder, sitting there, twinkling my thumbs, because every time, after a while, it would just start up. Like, boom, starts up, runs. So I'm like, this is weird. And the ignition switch was doing it. Well, and I thought to myself, every time I've done it, I've had the heat blasting. And I did read something about the relays going bad in these things. The main, they call it the main relay. Because the first thing I was looking at, I was like, I can't find the fuel pump relay. There should be a fuel pump relay. Because a lot of times I've been able to look, you'll find the fuel pump relay. So if that's gone bad, you can swap it out with something you don't care about, like AC blower or something. And so I couldn't find it that night. And so I did some research, and lo and behold, they talked about that the solder can break. I thought, it's always ran after, but said, yeah, but if it was a heat issue, like it gets hot and then it breaks the solder, you would think it would then do it again. Once it's hot and warm, it just barely breaks. But I thought, well, every time the car dies and I have the heat going, when I'm trying to start the car again, I'll turn the blower motor off. So then I tested my theory. By Wednesday, it died on the way to work on Wednesday. That's when I was thinking about this, sitting in the car. On the way home, I just didn't run, it was warm anyway, but I didn't run the heat. Almost actually switched it over to cold, so the air was coming out of there, wasn't going to the getting hot, and didn't die, ran all the time. So this morning before I went to work, went ahead and just on up under the dash. And I was gonna make a video out of it, honestly. You don't want to see a fat guy crawling into the side of a car trying to get a resistor out. It's not that exciting. I mean, it's just, not fun. Not fun for anyone. Not good, not quality content. But I got it out, and so I thought, well, I'm running the cycle. I'm working over in the machine shop, and I got pretty long cycles at work on the machine I'm running, so I thought, I'll get a chance, I'll pop it apart and see if I can check out the inside. So I did. Ooh, that was supposed to come out not as dramatically like that. So, what's interesting is it's a 2 relay in 1, which is why the one thing I thought couldn't be this relay is I kept turning the fuel pump, and the relay controlled the ignition in the fuel pump. Well, when I took it apart, I realized why. And I'll see if you go. Okay, I got it here in my hand. If you look around that solder joint right there, see that light crack? So what would happen is as it would get hot, that would open up. The car would cool off after sitting for 5 to 10 minutes. That solder would reconnect and the car would start again. When I wasn't running the heat because of all that hot air going under the dash, this would stay fine. So I just thought that was something interesting, and I thought you guys would like that. I was going to make a whole video of it. This is probably almost like half this video, but we'll get back to work on the case. Anyway, so put those parts over there. Can't need those anymore. So anyway, back to the case. So now we're back working on it. So like I said, we're going to try and get it where we can get the pistons out and all of that fun stuff. I was looking at my YouTube the other day, and I think I might be able to live stream. So make sure to like and subscribe, because I might try and do a random live stream one of these nights. But yeah, so anyway, that's the project. I'm going to try and get some stuff cleaned up around here. I'll bring you back, and hopefully, I think I'm going to pull the oil pan off. I did start looking at the brakes, but I just had no motivation, zero motivation to start looking at that stuff yet, because it sounds fun. So we'll bring you back in a little bit. All right, I thought I'd show you guys a little bit, kind of the progress so far of the old case. It's just Marvel Mystery on this now. I was talking earlier on the video about doing live streams. We actually just did one, so make sure to like and subscribe, because we will randomly do them. We got talking about all sorts of stuff, and then my phone died. So sorry about that, everybody. We'll figure it out a little later. But I'm going to dive into this a little more. We'll bring you back once we got a little action. All right, got you down here actually by the heater. Probably the best spot to be in the whole shop. Thought I'd bring you guys along as we find out what is in the pan. It's probably not as much work getting done tonight out here. Oh, oh. That was not oily at first. Oh, oh. That's not good. That's really not good. Let's, it smells interesting. Hold on, I'll bring it back. All right, well, I just flipped it upside down, so that won't help. But let's take a look at what is on the plug. This, it's not good. So, probably not a good sign. Well, we'll get that pan pulled down here tonight and see what it looks like on the inside. We also did a little more cleanup in here, so now I have my kind of all the parts laid out a little more organized and ready to go. Like I said, this head it's gonna need quite a bit of work. Got a boy, it's all got all the stuff to do it, so I'll get these valves pulled out. We'll start working on that. But again, nothing's getting done until we can actually see if this thing will turn over. I'll show you kind of what I've been doing. Get this one-handed here. Watch, now it breaks loose. You can see that pry bar. That's some leaning. And it's getting nothing. So, well, no, it's not doing anything. So, that's fun. Damn. All right, well, that's what's in the oil pan. That's disgusting. Only broke one bolt coming out, so that's not too bad. But you can see here is where I gave it the... That's nasty. So, we'll, I haven't even looked up there yet. I haven't done it, mostly because my flashlight's in the car. So I'm gonna grab that, and I'll bring you back, and we'll take a look and see how bad the blower end is. All right, I got you under here with the light, so you can actually see how bad this is. You can see we got rust marks. The one that's kind of sketchy to me is that you can kind of see it looks like it's coming around the rod bearings, but you can also see. Let's see if I can get it on the view. Sorry if it looks like it's upside down, but that amount of rust on the bottom of the cylinder is just, I mean, there's moisture in this side of the crankcase, which doesn't surprise me, but for a very long time, you can kind of start to see the damage. That crankshaft, or that camshaft, excuse me. It's definitely got to be addressed. So it's like almost midnight here tonight, so I'm thinking I'm gonna probably call this one a night. I know I didn't do much mechanical work. I just told the story of the Honda, but we'll be able to come back out later, and I'll pull all this one to sit. So this oil pan or this oil pickup drips all of its goo out. And then I'll actually try and get those out because I just don't want to, I'm going to pull stuff off the top cylinders. Also, it's kind of, you can see when it's kind of depressing, but all that stuff that you put down there, none of it's gotten, I mean, they're all dry. The words of an old mechanic I used to work for, who actually is the guy I got this box from. Arnie, one of the funner mechanics guys I've worked with over the years. And sadly, he passed away a couple years around this time. But he used to say the line, it's drier than a popcorn fart. That's the way the bottom of those sleeves are. So we'll go ahead and reposition here. We'll call it a night for this one. Like and subscribe. Make sure you do that because we'll be doing live more often. Hopefully my phone will allow that to happen. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.